Welcome back to Fishing with Vance. Well, as you can see outside, it's not going to be any fishing going on today. Here it's mid-January, and we just got hit with a nice big snowstorm here in western PA. As you can see, it's a little warmer today. It's actually not too cold, but not as cold as it was over the weekend. But still, we got probably good 10 or 11 inches of snow here, as it was predicted. But so you'll have that in Pennsylvania. That's the way she goes. So anyway, that means it's time for more product reviews. So I'm still working on the Pelican, so stay tuned for that. I got started on that the other day, but I thought I'd do a product review today. And something that I'm surprised I hadn't done in the past, and that is a review of these GARCIA Veritas rods. And I have quite a few of them, as you can see. And you've got the 2.0. I should start it first here with the original Veritas. The 1.0, it doesn't say that, I think it's just Veritas. And then the 2.0 Veritas. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I have these in various models, various sizes, strengths, actions, and all the ones I have are all single piece, but we'll go through those. And I'll go over what I like about them, and there's some things I don't like about them. I actually have started to move away from these rods. I bought a few different ones for Carp this past season that they were less expensive than these, and they seem to hold up just fine. But and I'll get into that too. But that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go over the GARCIA Veritas, both the original and the 2.0. I don't have a 3.0, probably because the performance of these guys. So I don't hate them. Let's just get that out of the bag. But I'll get into review what I like about them, what I really liked about them, and some of the things I haven't liked about them, which is kind of caused me to start to look other places for different kind of rods. So stay tuned. Let's see what we think of the GARCIA Veritas spinning rods. All right, the Veritas. When I first got these, let me put this one down first. I first started using these primarily for bass fishing, and this one I still use them all. Let me get that out of the way right now. I still use them. I broke one last year when the old Pelican got flipped over, and the tip broke off, but I can't blame it on the rod. We literally flipped the Pelican over, and we were lucky that was all that broke. But anyway, I still use these. They are definitely a big player in my bass arsenal for sure. The two that I happen to have here, these are the original Veritas, and they are both medium light, I believe. No, one's a medium and one's a medium light. That makes sense. I use the medium. They're both, I think these are 6.9s. Yeah, well, the medium's a 6.6 medium, and this is a 6.9 medium light. I actually like this setup probably the very best of actually all my bass setups. That's why I have one of my more expensive flugers on it. That's the Patriarch on there. And as I go to the lake each time, if I'm going for bass, this rod usually gets rigged with what in my head, I think is going to be the best chance for catching fish. More times than not, I use this setup for a wacky worm. I have one right here with this. I usually throw this on this, the Gary Yakumono red shad laminate, and pegged with a nail. I'm sure if you guys have followed the channel, see me fish this this bait a lot, and it does catch a ton of bass, and it's the perfect balance to throw with this particular rod. But all right, back to the rod itself. And since I have this one on my hand, we'll talk about the original Veritas for bass. I happen to like a handle like this. We'll start at the handle, work our way down. I like the handle like this, the two-piece of whatever you want to call this, where you have the butt hand down here. The sort of the butt is separated like this. I'd say the connecting mechanism to connect your reel, it's just okay on the original. The way it works, I'm trying to catch my window blind over there. Anyway, it works. It's plastic. It does a fairly decent job. I think it's okay. I think it was okay. And that's something that's a differentiator in the 2.0, which we'll get to when I get to that. But it does the job. I've never had a reel fall off of it. They have a pretty decent keeper on here. But overall, it does have nice balance. Again, for this particular setup, this is size 35 Fluger. And this is a very light reel. But this is something I can cast all day long, and that's why I do use it a lot for bass. The medium light is perfect, again, for finesse fishing. I would say this particular rod, I do like it, and I've duplicated this in some of my other bass setups. But overall, from the rod perspective, it's performed fine. More than fine. It's done a good job. Caught a lot of bass on it. But I will say that this is probably the one negative, and we're going to see that through all of these, is the guides. The guides just are not holding up. And I know you probably guys can't see that. And I do a pretty good job of taking care of these. These guides, they tend to want to wear out on the inside. And it's not like I'm a professional bass fisherman. It's I probably fish during the summertime, I don't know, during like May, I'm going to fish like 3 or 4 times a week, and the middle of the summer a couple times a week. I would just say I average about 3 times a week throughout from May to September. So it's not like I'm fishing every day, and I hit it for probably about 3-4 hours each trip. So it is getting used a lot, but again, I'm not it's no salt water, it's all fresh water. And I noticed the guides, the plastic on the inside of them, they're getting frayed, and I clean them every year. This one still hasn't been cleaned yet, but I do clean them each year to try to, whatever debris is in there, I try to get it out. But I'm not happy with the guides, again, because they tend to fray in there or even fall out. I've had a couple over there that I could get it, but you get the idea that guide has actually fallen out, the inside of it. And for a pole that costs, this rod isn't cheap. Forget what I got this for. I think the newer the 3.0 Veritases are, they can be $130, $40, $120. It's $100 rod all day, all the time. I think I got a couple of these on sale for $90, but mostly it was, let's just call it around $100 for this pole, this rod. And for $100, I do want it to hold up a little better than that. So kind of jumping the gun a little bit on this review, but it's unavoidable. I don't like the guides. Now let me put this guy down, and this is also just the original Veritas. Again, same mechanism for keeping the reel on there. This one is, I have my little mini arbor on it. This is one of my favorite setups when I'm cranking, because I only spin. I don't use bait casters. Maybe someday, but not for now. I have all spinning equipment. And when I'm throwing crankbaits, whether it be a square bill or, you know, the shad wrap that I love so much, I'm throwing it on this little mini arbor, this President mini arbor 7430. I don't think they make this anymore. I've looked and looked. I can't find another one. If I could find another one, I'd buy another one, maybe two more. But anyway, this is a, like I said before, this is a size medium pole. It's the same, but it's the same deal. You know, this pole I'm casting constantly because I'm cranking with it, and looking at their guides, those ones are even worse, and it's hard to see on the camera, but they're frayed even more. Well, this one I think I already cleaned, and that's why it's they look good. But this one I'm casting even more constantly with square bill, but the guides again are not, they break, the insides come out, and that's something I just don't like about the rod. I like especially when I'm casting this, I like to put my hand on here, and you can really let it have it. You can even go backhand with this thing. If you guys have watched the channel, you see me cast this thing a million times, but you can hold on to this pup right here and let her fly, and this little arbor will throw it, you know, from here, as my old partner would say, from here to Youngstown. All right, so let's set that down. Now, I'm not going to go over this one in detail. This is another original Veritas, and this is a medium heavy 7-footer. I started buying these whenever I started getting into carp fishing, and I got a little it's a little longer. It's a 7-foot version and a little beefier, you know, to reel in some of those, you know, 10, 15, even occasional 20-pound carp. I still have the carp set up on here. Now, I happen to have the Fluger arbor, the bigger arbor on here. Again, now this is a size 40 and 7440, and it has that bigger spool, and it allows me to throw this thing a country mile, and that was what attracted me to this particular reel. But again, let's talk about the rod. This rod, again, has done fine. It's performed. We've got some big carp on this guy, and you know, some 15, 18, 20-pound carp. You know, but it handled it fine, no problem at all. And you know, it did a great job, and I still use it. But again, back to probably the predominant negative is I see the insides are starting to wear on the eyelets, and should have brought the one over that a couple of them come out, but so be it. All right, so moving on. Overall, for the original Veritas, I would probably score this guy maybe, for the money, again, the original one, this was about $90, I think I paid for it back when I got this. But let's just call it a $100 rod. I would score this probably about a 75, maybe even a 70. Let's call it a 70%. Just because for the money, you want these things to last longer than what they have. I've only had these for maybe 3 or 4 years. So, and I do take care of them. You know, they're stored over there on the wall. It's not like I throw them all over the place. I do take care of them, and I clean them up every year or so. All right. So, let's look at the Veritas 2.0. Now, what's the difference between the original and the 2.0? The biggest difference is the way that it holds the reel, and I do like this feature. Now, this rod costs more. I think I paid $120 for this guy, but you know, I don't know if it's worth it. Another $20 for this, but I do like the feature, and they changed, you know, this to a metal rather than plastic, and it cinches from the top rather than sucking it up from the bottom. So I do feel a little more secure. You can really tighten this guy up, and you're not going to lose your reel. And again, you hook into some bigger carp, and you know, for me, you know, I catch a 18-pound fish. I mean, that's a big fish for where I'm fishing, and you know, it's a pretty good fight. You get an 18-pound carp on there, and this guy, it's a medium heavy 7-footer, and it performed great. And the 2.0 definitely. They've definitely improved the guides. I think that was a thing. It's hard to see on here, but if I lay them side by side, and this is difficult to do, but I'll look down there and you can see maybe, and you can see that they made them bigger. Each one is bigger. This is really identical rod. You know, they're both 7-foot medium heavies, but one's the 2.0 versus the OG. And see, the guides are bigger all the way down, and they do appear to be keeping better. You know, they do appear to be lasting better. They're not getting frayed on the inside, and so far all the 2.0s that I haven't had an issue with the guides coming out. So I'll give them credit for improving that. I do give them credit for improving the handle. I don't have a 3.0, and I may get one, maybe not. Like I said, I'm starting to look, you know, other places. I know my son has, he's real big in the, you know, the Shimanos, the HMX, and, or the Fenwicks, I'm sorry. The Fenwick HMX and HMGs rods, and he really likes those. And we have a bunch of Fenwick Eagles over there that I use a lot for more finesse worm fishing, smallmouth fishing, and even throw some of my smaller finesse baits when I'm bass fishing. And I love those Fenwick rods. So I may jump into the Fenwick arena for this other rod for my next carp or catfish rod. I do have bad news, those of you guys that follow the channel. The OG, the Bob Gwynn rod, the ugly stick that was, you know, back when the ugly stick was, you know, I think made here in the USA, and it was, you know, it was awesome. I lost that rod. I lost that rod at Smith Mountain Lake. We were catching carp after carp, and it got pulled right. I don't know what size carp that was, but it got pulled right off the post, and it swam. You know, it's at the bottom of Smith Mountain Lake somewhere. Some carp, I don't know, probably still dragging it around. But yeah, I lost that rod, which broke my heart because it was my dad's. There's my dad's old Indian hat up there. But it was my pops' rod. I think caught so many catfish and carp for us, mostly carp, and that'd be the one rod of all of them that I wouldn't want to lose. And of course, that's the one I lost. But that's the way it goes. So that being said, I need to replace it because I was one of my carp setups. So I'm going to be buying probably another 7-foot, you know, medium heavy or heavy. Probably medium heavy is probably good enough. I like to get have a little battle with these carp. You know, you catch a 15-pound carp on a medium heavy rod, and it's a lot of fun. So I don't know that I'll get another Veritas. We'll see. But back to this guy, the 2.0. I would say overall, with the improvements in the guides and in the reel connection mechanism here, the other one I scored a 70. I'd probably score this, you know, it was $20 more, so I'd probably move it up to, sorry, it's my watch going off. I'd probably move it up to, you know, probably 80%, 75%. Let's call it 80, because it so far it's performed as advertised. So I'm gonna score that in 80%. You know, the ultimate is, would you buy it again? Somebody wants my attention. Would I buy it again? And here I am on the fence of whether I am or I'm not. I'm definitely not going to pay, you know, $150 for it or whatever the 3.0 costs. I'm not sure. I haven't even looked. But I may get it if I can get it on sale for around $100 or $110 or, you know, whatever. But if I can find something different, I'm going to give another rod a try. So that tells you all you really need to know. I've got 4 of them, or I think 5 of them. I don't know. One of them broke in the boat mishap, like I said. But here I am making a decision to replace my dad's old ugly stick that I used for carp fishing. I need another carp rod. and I don't think I'm going to get a Veritas. So, take that for whatever it's worth. But that's what I think of them. Overall, not bad. You're not going to go wrong with them. You may be disappointed if you pick up one of these original Veritases, especially with the guides. But I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, don't avoid them at all costs. Definitely not. I've had them 4 or 5 years. I've caught tons of fish on them. I just want to see if there's something better out there, for that amount of money. I don't like to get into like, $200 rods, because again, they end up in the bottom of the lake, which is a good thing. It means you're catching fish. So that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. This is on the Veritas original and the Veritas 2.0. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. Snowy day here in Pennsylvania, so it's product review time. And again, stay tuned. I'm working on the Pelican. I'm almost halfway through the first part 1 of that. And stay tuned for that. That'll probably be out this week as well. And we'll go from there. A lot of work on that yet to come, but stay tuned for that. So, thanks for joining me today. We'll see you next time on fishingwithvance.com. Fish on. If you like this video, check out the playlist of all my other videos for catching bass off the Pelican, trout, and also really have gotten into carp fishing lately. In the off season here, I do a lot of product reviews on the Pelican, fishing rods and reels, and then obviously lots of Pelican boat mod videos. So check those out. We have playlists for that. Hit subscribe, hit like, and comment. Thanks for watching.